Hello and welcome. My name is Paweł Piwosz and you are listening to Last Week in IT, the weekly podcast. Together with my fantastic co-hosts, Jakub Siwiecki and Jan Mazurek, we'll give you our perspectives on recent news, events, announcements and many more. And we do it in our own style. Join us and enjoy the show. Okay, hello in the third episode of our podcast, and today with Yasiu and Kuba we will discuss very interesting, I hope very interesting report from the foundation called SODO, or SysOps DevOps if you will. So what SysOps DevOps is? This is something very interesting. This was created as a Facebook group in 2015, and in 2018 they started the foundation based on this group because it was so popular. And today they deliver trainings, workshops for different areas like cloud, Docker, Kubernetes, Terraform, many more. And they have 3 groups in the Facebook today. The biggest one contains 28,000 users, so a lot, right? They organize meetups, they organize workshops, as I said, in different cities in Poland. And what they do really nicely is to build this awareness of IT in the whole country, really. And I mentioned country, and this is the one issue which I want to touch. That because there is always one issue, right? They try to stick to Polish language only, and because before you just leave this podcast, because I said this is only Polish organization. Let me explain why this is not that big deal here for us now. They published this report, which I want to tell you, in Polish only, yes, but the power of this report is the number of responses, right? So they collected almost 30,000 of responses. This is exact number is 29,846, where 63% of them are from the seniors or mid engineers. So 30,000 of responses for the market is a lot, right? We all know the reports from other companies like Gartner, like Puppet, etc., and they can compile few hundreds, maybe 1,000, maybe 2,000 of responses. Here we have 30,000, and this is good representation not only for the Polish market, which is quite complex if we talk about the people, nationality of the people and the cultures and from what countries they came here, but with this representation we can say that I think we can believe that this report should be really read by the representatives of all organizations, not only in Poland but just globally. And yeah, that 30,000 responses is a lot of data, right? And having this number of data with this amount of information is a power. Who have the data have the power, right? So Sodo did a really great job to collect the responses from SysOps and DevOps, like in huge work, which is done by them. So I'm really grateful to have this report and the possibility to read it.
Yeah, and I also want to mention one thing that I would not necessarily only be worried about the aspect of having the report done only in Polish, because there are many companies on our market that are actually international ones and are representing the working culture not only of the Polish type of personality when it comes to Polish characteristics of a person, right? Because some of our companies are global, have global values, and employees working in those global companies, they also represent the global aspect of the work. Therefore, despite the fact the report has been done in Poland and it has, this 30,000 responses, I mean, that's, first of all, that's a huge number. And of course, they could have a wider expansion and wider reach if they would use that in other languages as well, English, for instance. However, nevertheless, with the aspect of working cultures on our market, that's definitely also very useful to take into consideration that, yes, it is a report done in Polish, yes, it is a report done in Poland, but those companies are global. They represent company global values,
That is
standard
true.
practices. There is a standardization, like unified approach, right? Because if you are a DevOps from United States, from United Kingdom, from China, from Australia, the standards should be maintained to the high level. They should be followed regardless of the country location, and that's why I think that's still value in this report, despite the fact it's only done on this market.
Thanks for saying that, Jan, because that was something that I wanted to ask, and I wanted to share this question with Pavel. Like, does the work of DevOps between different countries, different world regions differ? Because my assumption and my understanding is completely not. Like, we have like the same cloud, right? Like, most of the things are common. You don't have different cloud for each country. That would be crazy, right? And
That will be crazy. Yes.
maybe servers, regions, but not the cloud. So I believe, like, would you agree that like you can use such huge amount of participants of this study? You can based on that make some assumptions about the whole market.
Definitely yes. Definitely yes. And the work of SysOps or DevOps here is not different, right? So it doesn't matter if I am DevOps or SysOps here in Poland, in Germany, in UK, Brazil, US, Canada, Australia, Japan. Uh, we as we said, right, as was stated in your question, the work here is very very similar, right? So especially on this like a hard elements, technological elements, right? So yeah, definitely this is kind of piece of the cake which Sodo covered. This whole cake is our world, right? And this piece is only the Poland, but in fact the cake is the same. Maybe there is more cherries here there, but the cake is the same.
And in terms of cake, when it comes to those like cherries on top for you, because you're from this industry, like what impressed, or I don't know, what surprised you in this in results, or maybe would you add something if you would
Mhm.
be the one who would create some kind of survey or questions to DevOps? I wanted to say family. Is there anything?
Right. So first, what was surprising about this came from the name Sodo, right? SysOps DevOps, I think.
So sorry,
And
before you move forward,
yeah,
pardon my ignorance, and I just would just like to know what is SODA, what is SysOps, what is DevOps, because I'm not from a technical background. So if you could bring a bit of wider perspective about this, that would be great.
and now Holy War started. Now, kidding. So that is very good question, really. And you know that for the sysop, it's quite simple to say it's sysadmin, right? The guy who is sitting with Linux, Windows, whatever, and administering the system. With DevOps, it's a little bit more complicated because we tend to call DevOps as a DevOps engineers, right? And I hate it, as you already know. And I believe that the main difference here between SysOps and DevOps is in the perception. So we should perceive it a little bit differently. SysOp may be the role, the position. This is the guy who is sitting next to the keyboard, working with the stuff, right? Mainly with operating systems. While DevOps is more like a mindset, more like a uh, approach. It's I would combine this with the word agile, right? So agile is not the technological thingy, right? We don't have I don't know, agile engineers, agile developers, agile testers. In the same way, we don't have DevOps, SysOps, DevOps, CI/CD engineers, DevOps cloud engineers, right? So they work in the organization which follows DevOps rules, DevOps mindset, and they still are developers, SysOps, etc., etc., etc. Right? So this is like a two different, even not side of the coins. These are two different currencies, really, right? So SysOps is a role, and DevOps is a mindset, a way of working. So that's, in my opinion, is the best definition. And yeah, you are not allowed to disagree with me.
And after 20 years of working in the IT industry, I am still able to learn something new. Thanks, Pavel.
That's perfect. Thank you. Always welcome.
So coming back to Kuba's question
Yeah.
about what was surprising for you in the report, or
Yeah.
maybe not
So
surprising, but just enjoyable, or like something that confirmed your
yeah.
perception.
Or
Right.
what
So
would
what?
you like to
Hmm?
add as well?
Yeah.
Yes.
So what I would like to see is the differentiation between actual sysops and people who treat themselves as a DevOps, right? And work as a cloud engineers or this crazy DevOps engineers. Well, I hate it. But still, we have positions like that in the companies, and to see the difference here, right? Because, for example, for the majority of people, the most important element in their work is Linux. So 90% of the people who respond to this report found Linux at least important, if not crucial. So the 90% means that almost everyone from this 30,000, right? And today, not necessarily this is the most important part, at least in DevOps world. If we go into the serverless areas, for example, we don't need that much of the operating systems, right? So this was quite interesting. I'm not saying surprising. It shows more like we are still not there. Like, those most popular guys in the world will say that, yeah, serverless only, yeah, DevOps only, etc. No Linux, no Windows, no systems, no nothing. uh, it is still there, right? And this challenge, really, the numbers given by other reports, how much cloud is adopted, etc., etc., etc. But it's not the topic. So Linux is the most important for people. Then we have CI/CD, clouds, Git, and then infrastructure as code. And this is what saddened me a little bit, because uh, maybe you know already that I'm also crazy about the infrastructure as code, especially in the cloud environments. And honestly, I am surprised and a little bit sad to see that the adoption of the cloud is around 40%, if I remember correctly, and adoption of in infrastructure as code, so the codified approach to describing infrastructure, is way less, right? So it was really, really yeah, sad for me, because still I believe this leads us to a lot of security issues. Another thing which is quite, maybe not right, Sodo combined together scripting and programming for one of the questions, and it looks like, for majority of people, scripting and programming is very important, but scripting and programming are completely different side of the coin, right? Though they are different. Scripting is one thing, programming is a second thing. And the value given by the report may be misleading here, because in the next pages we see that um, if we split those two, the scripting is mostly used by 66% of responders, and programming only 38%, right? So it is a difference, quite significant difference. And what is sad for me personally is the adoption of serverless, right? I'm kind of found of serverless, and only 22% of the responses said that it is important or they work with this right now. So from this perspective, I believe the report is quite complete. Probably I will go a little bit differently with some specific topics, because we have detailed questions about, for example, usage of containers, what kind of technologies are used here, or clouds, etc. However, I found that this report is quite representative and not surprising for me. But one thing was surprising, and it was about the cloud. And this is, I don't know if this is the fault of data or something like that, but in one place, Azure won, and second, AWS won. So I'm not sure here, right? And yeah, from the technological perspective, report gives really good background, really good information about the what's going on. And it's not like some people want to say that we are so well adapted in cloud, we are so well adapted in automation, we are so well adapted in everything else. No, we are not.
However, Kuba, you've mentioned in the past that you were doing some researches, you were doing some analysis, you were doing some surveys. And having this response rate of 30,000 people, how reliable, from your point of view, is the data?
Well, that's a really good sample. Of course, I don't know what's the whole pool of DevOps in Poland, at least. I'm not sure is it possible to estimate and how precisely such number. But when I think about this report, there is like one thing that bugs me. There is this one issue, as Pavel mentioned. There is always one issue. So there is one but. I don't want to undermine. Just to be clear, I don't want to undermine the whole report. Great work, kudos, especially when it comes to the whole context that Pavel mentioned as well. But I'd like to highlight this one issue. There is a part that I perceive risky to believe fully, as it is stated in the whole study. And it's connected with what you, Pavel, you came with this report to us, and you said that was your advertisement of this. Hey, read this. You will see that money is the key element in motivation. And I want to say I don't fully buy it when it comes to this study. So let's dive deeper maybe into this in the next episode, if that's fine for you guys.
That will be something. I didn't expect that discussion to come, because it sounds like obvious, but maybe not. Maybe you have different perspective. That's a quite interesting topic.
Yep, definitely. So yeah, let's definitely discuss that, because I would like to know, apart of money, what else can be a good motivation factor. So yeah, looking kind of forward to hear more on that.
So see you in the next episode when we talk about this, and let's hear in the next episode what Kuba want to say about that. Thank you very much. See you soon. And that's it for today. This was Last Week in IT. Thank you for listening, and please join us for the next episode. Follow us on social media, subscribe and comment. If you agree, disagree, or just want to say hello, we are waiting for you. Stay tuned, stay IT.